Meet Suresh Chakravarthy, a technology executive and fintech board member with a distinguished career spanning over 3 decades in financial services and technology innovation. Currently serving as the head of BFSI practice at Motivus, Suresh specializes in identifying business needs, crafting innovative solutions, and building high-performing global teams that deliver results on time and under budget. With leadership roles at industry giants like JP Morgan, BNY Mellon, and Fortress Investment Group, Suresh has driven large-scale technology transformations, strategic initiatives, and operational excellence across investment banking, wealth management, and hedge fund accounting. From building a 1,500-person offshore team to implementing cutting-edge SaaS and AI-powered ecosystems, Suresh is a master of aligning IT strategies with business goals to drive revenue growth and enhance efficiency. Armed with degrees from the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, and the New Jersey Institute of Technology, Suresh Chakravarthy is a visionary leader dedicated to transforming technology into a powerful tool for business success. Please join me in welcoming Suresh Chakravarthy.
Today, we celebrate the remarkable journey of Jana Iyer, a woman who has defied the odds and achieved extraordinary success. Nearly 20 years ago, Jana arrived in the United States, determined to pursue her dreams. She worked tirelessly, rising through the ranks in the healthcare industry with the goal of becoming a hospital CEO. But in 2018, Jana Iyer took a bold leap into the captivating world of tequila, leaving her hospital career behind. With no prior experience in the spirits industry, Jana exemplified the determination that women from all backgrounds can achieve their wildest dreams. As a woman-owned alcohol brand in a predominantly male-dominated field, she aims to break down barriers for other women seeking their place in this space. Jana's tequila brand, Fino, stands for "Failure is not an option," embodying Jana's mission to inspire others. Through her brand, she hopes to empower both women and men to pursue their dreams with the Fino mindset, embracing resilience and determination. Jana is also a co-owner of Taco Maya, a restaurant chain with 10 locations across Illinois. And looking ahead to 2025, Jana Iyer plans to expand into several other states and even explore international opportunities. Today, we honor Jana Iyer's story, which is a testament to the power of perseverance and the belief that anything is possible. Her achievements inspire us all to chase our dreams with unwavering determination. Jana Iyer, Women Tamil Entrepreneur Award. In a world where healthcare challenges often seem daunting and complex, one visionary leader has risen to the occasion, transforming the industry with his unwavering spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship. This is the story of Anbu Nachimuthu, the chairman of Carrus Health. Anbu's journey began with a deep-rooted passion for improving patient outcomes and revolutionizing the way healthcare is delivered. Armed with a keen intellect, an entrepreneurial mindset, and a relentless drive to make a difference, he set out to build a company that would redefine the industry. Under Anbu's visionary leadership, Carrus Health has emerged as a trailblazer, pioneering groundbreaking solutions that have transformed the management of hospitals in Tier 2 cities in the USA and delivered superior health care. From leveraging cutting-edge technology to streamlining operations, Anbu's unwavering commitment to excellence has propelled Carrus Health to the forefront of the healthcare landscape. But Anbu's impact extends far beyond the walls of his company. He is a true champion of philanthropy, inspiring giving back to the community. Today, we honor Anbu Nachimuthu, a true pioneer whose vision, determination, and entrepreneurial spirit have left an indelible mark on the healthcare industry and the world of philanthropy. His legacy will continue to inspire and guide us as we strive to build a healthier, more equitable world for all. Anbu Nachimuthu, Pioneer Tamil Entrepreneur Award.
Yep. So I'm requesting all the panelists to come on stage. And if still we have a tech problem, but we have to go to the backup plan. Backup plan is all our guest is going to introduce themselves. They are the best person to introduce. So Beyond Tech, exactly right. This is what Beyond Tech. Floor is yours, guys. Thank you. Can we give one round of applause, please, for them? Thank you.
You want to start?
Yeah. Can you hear? Okay, my name is Anbu Nachimuthu. I'm a founder and CEO of Carrus Health. So we have a unique story to tell from this perspective, I guess, beyond tech, although we cannot live without a tech, I guess. So my background, I want to give a little background. My background is in engineering. Originally, I'm from Jana University, did engineering. Then after a couple of years, moved to finance, had a business degree from Chicago. Okay. Is it better? Is it too loud? Okay. So yeah, engineering and coming out of the engineering and then did a finance background, been there for a couple of years working. Then after some time, graduating from MBA, then you feel like you want to get into some other areas and go into an entrepreneurship, explore other areas. And my wife, being a physician, she was a catalyst to push me into other areas, venture into other areas outside of my comfort zone. So long story short, we started a healthcare business in around 2008-9 frame. One a small hospital in the outskirts of Dallas here. And we started that from ground up. So I started getting into the healthcare without any knowledge. But of course, you had the foundation in business and engineering and all of those. So ventured into healthcare, started a small hospital, and that we exited out around 2008 with a Wall Street firm. So when we say we started from ground up. So we started building it, design, build, operate, and that hospital was successful and got out of it. And then around 2012-13 time frame, we went to started a company called Carrus Healthcare. With that experience, that the first startup, we started the Carrus Health, which is a multi-state. We operate in Texas and Oklahoma. Right now we have 4 hospitals, and we have all other ancillary businesses associated with it, but the hospital is our main business. So the 4 hospitals that we have in 4 different markets, one is the acute care, other one is the post-acute, which is rehab and specialty. Then the last one, or the new one, which is the most promising one, is the behavioral health. A lot of people now, behavioral and mental health is the growing, and a lot of opportunities are there. So we are in 4 different spaces, and along with the hospitals, you always have other opportunities, a lot of the ancillary businesses. Then, from a business opportunity perspective, I want to talk about what you have as a startup. Right now, if you look at, there are some key drivers driving the healthcare. Of course, healthcare is a big, diverse industry. The couple of the key drivers are, COVID is one of them. COVID changed a lot of stuff in healthcare. Post-COVID, telehealth. Some of you are interested in, in the tech side, interested in opening or starting up businesses. Telehealth is one of the great space to be in. There's a lot of opportunities. And then the second one is, as the population is aging, right? So almost like every day, 10,000 people are getting into Medicare, reaching the retirement age, getting into the Medicare. So that opens up a lot of opportunities to be in the in that space, especially caring for the seniors. So anything above 65 and above, people when they reach the Medicare enrollment age, that opens up a lot of opportunities for business startups. Then third one is the mental health. Mental health, as you know, it's a growing, it's a big issue, and it also creates an opportunity from a business perspective, both in adult side as well as on the pediatric and the kids side, under 18. So we are on the under 18 side, where we have a lot of outpatient clinics and inpatient hospital for behavioral health. So those three drivers, those are all the key drivers that are driving a lot of business opportunities. So if you look at from a business opportunity perspective, with those factors, you can go from a high capital, meaning, building a hospital, and going from opening bigger hospitals with a lot of capital involved, long-term investment, and it's a high margin but a high risk categories. That's one spectrum. On the other spectrum, you have the service side of it, where you don't have to have a lot of capital, but you can scale it, more like an outpatient services, and you can also have, lower margin, but it's a lot more opportunities to expand into multiple areas throughout the U.S. So if you look at from a hospital perspective, with the seniors reaching the retirement age, specifically like a rehab hospital, that's one of the growing trend, and you can look at that, but it's a long-term horizon. I would say like a 2 to 4 year horizons, even to develop, to get into a market, to operationalize, it takes about 2 to 3 years. Then from a middle market or from a capital perspective, you can look at some of the imaging centers, outpatient centers, urgent cares. A lot of now therapy centers are opening up. The kids pediatric therapy is one of the areas where a lot of demand going on there. And then on the service side, you have the staffing, of course, the revenue cycle managements, wellness clinics. So those are all the other areas where you can easily get into and scale it and make it successful. And it's a less risk. Whereas on the hospital side, it's a lot more risk because it's a long-term horizon, and you have to have patience for your investment return. So it's a multiple, go from a high risk and to a lower risk but a scalable side of it. And the two industries that are specifically easy to get in right now is the home care market. As you know, like a lot of the seniors, even all of us, when we reach our retirement age, like 60s, 70s, how are we going to be taken care of? We have to be taken care of by ourselves in our home. That's our preference. That's what the population is now demanding, that they don't want to go to a nursing home, or they don't want to be treated at a facility along with 20 other people, right? So they are demanding that the care be provided at home. So that space is increasing. That space is actually booming for a business opportunity-wise. Home care is it's not a home services. It's a home care, home health care, but it's not a home health. There is another business called home health. That's a different. But its home care market is improving, and it's a lot more activities going on. There is a lot of M&A activities. In fact, there is a huge demand for investments in that space, and that's one of the industries where, with a minimal knowledge in our skill set, you can get into. I know there are a few companies who are offering like a franchise type opportunities. I think that's a good space for anybody to get into if you're from non-clinical side, non-healthcare side, to get into the healthcare space. I think that will be an easy one to look at. And it also has a great potential. As I said, every market has a seniors now getting into that space. But again, it's not a technology related, but it's a tech enabled. Without tech, of course, nothing can be done right now, but you can do a lot more of the services with the technology there. But it's a market that has a great potential. And the other one, as I said, is the behavioral health. We ourselves are into behavioral health for children under 18 years. We see a lot of issues. I mean, as you all know, the kids from middle school to high school have so much of behavioral health issues. And in fact, there are some schools here, they have health counselors nowadays. In addition to the teachers, they have a lot of health counselors, counseling the kids, and they all need the therapy. So we are opening multiple outpatient centers in and around the Texas market, but there is a huge demand for that. And that's another space that you can look into it as a business opportunity perspective. That's also a lot of VC funding is going on. There is a lot of consolidation going on there too. But it's a place where a lot of VC funding is going into the market, from what I understand from the research. And so we come from a different background. With our engineering background and with our finance background, we ventured into a background where our industry where we were not originally comfortable with, but I think the point that we want to make is that it's a doable. You don't have to be in the same comfort zone to look at your opportunity for business. You can always look at outside of your comfort zone. And it's even healthcare, you may seem like it's a very tough business to be in. It's a challenging, but it's a doable. And if you have just the right background and a foundation, you can always open up opportunities or open up businesses in the healthcare sector. And that's kind of what I wanted to just quickly go through it. If anyone needs any help or guidance on some of the healthcare related initiatives, we'll be happy to talk to them outside of the meeting here. Janani?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you.
20 years ago, if somebody had asked me what I want to do, I would have said I would want to be doing exactly what Mr. Anbu is doing now. I came to the US in 2000. I grew up in Chennai. I went to Ramchandra Medical College. I grew up in a traditional Indian family where my parents gave me two options, engineer or doctor, and if I behaved, maybe tech industry. And I chose the medical field. I got into med school, but I did my PT. I used to be a physical therapist back in India. And then even during my PT years, I had this itch for the business side of healthcare. I wanted to do something different than just the clinical aspect of it. So I came to Chicago. I did my master's in health administration, MBA in healthcare, completely different from what I'm doing today. Hello? So then I originally wanted to become a CEO of a rehab center, combine my clinical knowledge and the business sense that I learned in my MBA program and go up the corporate ladder, which is how I started. I started working for hospitals and started as an analyst, went into strategic planning, became a director, was going up to become the VP of a hospital. And then I think life took a different turn. If they had asked me at that time, would you be talking as a tequila entrepreneur to a room full of people, I would have laughed at myself. I didn't know I was going to be a tequila owner even at that time. I had to quit my job for family reasons and got into family business, helping them out. And that used to be in the photography world, specializing in newborn maternity photography. Completely different from the healthcare world. But I had to do what I had to do, so I quit my job and my dreams of becoming a CEO and started helping in the family business. But I still had that itch. I wanted to become a CEO of something, and I didn't know what at that time. And then I actually met a mentor in Chicago who has multiple businesses, and he's a serial entrepreneur. When I met him at one of these casual events, he really liked my enthusiasm and energy and said, you should be doing something on your own. I said, well, I've been thinking about it, but I still don't know what it is. One day it'll happen. He challenged me. He said, why don't you come up with some business idea and I'll support you. I'll be your mentor and guide you. And of course, coming from a very traditional Indian background, right, I'm still thinking of conservative ideas, what I can do in the healthcare world or even beyond the healthcare world. He tried to push me. I said, I don't know, retail shop. I couldn't think of anything else. And I was invited for a tequila tasting dinner at that time. And I was never a tequila drinker. I'm sure we all have had our college days of bad tequila memories. Shoot tequila all night long and wake up with a hangover and promise you'll never ever drink the rest of your life, right? That was my tequila experience at that time. So when I was invited for a tequila tasting dinner, I knew nothing about it. I was trying to be polite, and I just happened to attend that dinner. And I think it was a life-changing dinner for me that night. The distiller from Mexico. So tequila must be made only in Mexico. That's when you can call it the tequila. So this guy, he has his family business. He came to Chicago to expand his brand in the U.S. He wanted to create a tequila brand in the U.S. So that's how that meeting happened. And I told him, I said, I don't like tequila. It's a very strong drink. It doesn't suit me. And he laughed at me. He said, clearly you know nothing about tequila, that means. And of course, I was trying to be a wine snob. I said, I like my red wines better. And if not red wine, our typical Indian drink, which is scotch, right? We don't drink tequila. So I learned a lot about tequila that night, and it was eye-opening. And it was very interesting because there's a lot of cultural similarities between Mexico and India in terms of spices and food, the tropical weather where agave is grown. So it was really fascinating to see something beyond an actual liquor, to learn about it and to see how amazing it is, that amount of work that goes into creating that one bottle of tequila. Of course, I was all excited. I didn't think about a business at that time. And then a couple weeks later, I was talking to my girlfriend with whom I was planning to do some business together. And it was almost like an aha moment. I said, wow, the tequila didn't give any hangover, like how we used to think. Maybe we should get into the tequila business. And she laughed at me and she said, I don't know. How many Indian women do you know that's in the liquor industry? And that's your tequila. So then came the bigger challenge, right? So we are interested in doing, but then I go back to my dad. What am I going to say? He spent all his money in sending me to a med school, and he has this dream of seeing his daughter in a clinical world. So I went to my parents and I said, I'm going to start a tequila business. And my mom doesn't drink at all. She didn't even know what tequila was. And my dad was like, I spent all this money, I wasted it on you. But I told him, I said, this is something I think I can really see myself do, have my own business. And the way I saw myself was, do you want to be a small fish in a big ocean or a big shark in a small pond? Because you don't see many Indian women, one in the liquor industry and two particularly in the tequila world. And so I wanted to do something different. I really wanted to inspire other people who are hesitant in doing something that they like only because they're in their comfort zone. They like their 9-to-5 job, they like their salary, and they're in their comfort zone even though that's not their passion. Do they really enjoy? Maybe, maybe not. So I really thought, okay, this is an opportunity to experiment on myself. And if I succeed, I can inspire many other younger generation to do something that they might like. Doesn't have to be their educational background, doesn't have to really have a knowledge in the industry, but you could if you succeed. So I experimented on myself. My tequila is called Fino, F-I-N-O. Fino literally in Spanish means fine or suave. And that was my idea. My business partner and I said, everybody thinks tequila like you just shoot and you get a hangover, you just get squashed overnight. But we wanted to elevate the image of tequila. We wanted to do something very sophisticated. And so we thought the name Fino will jive well with our philosophy. And we wanted to make it like a cool agave wine. You sip on it. You don't shoot on a tequila. So that was our vision. But as we started to do more research on our name and learn a lot more about it, we came across an urban dictionary that said the term FINO is an acronym for failure is not an option. So when we came across that, we got all excited. We said, you know what? This is a sign. This is a sign that failure is not an option for this business, and we're going to go forward with it. And I don't know how many of you know about the Apollo 13 story in the US. Apollo 13 mission, when the US were sending rockets to land on the moon, we were about to land on the moon, and we were under the command of Gene Kratz, who led this mission. Just as the rockets were about to land on the moon, the oxygen tanks were about to burst. So Gene Kratz at that time had two options: land on the moon and say America succeeded, and it's a big celebration for the country. Or, but you're going to lose your astronauts. But save the astronauts and save their lives. So at that time, he said, Fino, failure is not an option. No American shall die under my watch. I want to bring my boys back home. The story teaches all of us something. What is failure for you? Not landing on the moon, is that failing? Or killing your Americans, is that failing, right? There's always two sides to the coin. As entrepreneurs, I think it's very important for us to see it's not about failing, it's about how you come back. It's that never giving up attitude is what Fino is all about. And that became our philosophy and our mindset. Then our strategy for our marketing for our tequila is just not a commodity, it's a mindset, it's a lifestyle. So we celebrate life with Fino Tequila because failure is not an option for anybody. So that's my story, and that's how I started back in 2018, and here I am sitting and talking about Fino Tequila to all of you.
Good afternoon.
I hope I didn't put them to sleep.
Well, first of all, two hard acts to follow, but, I owe a lot to Arun Kumar, Sriram, Velu, the countless volunteers who put this together. Thank you. ATEA is an organization that I sort of became part of 2 years ago. My boss at one time and a mentor and a founder, Ram Nagapin, some of you in the room will know him or heard of him. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here. He was intending, but another conflicting event took him away. But he introduced me, and I did spend, since then, understanding more about the organization. I grew up in Chennai, Don Bosco, College of Engineering, Guindy, some of the best education. Went to IIM Bangalore. Was a surprise even to me that I got in. But even in high school, the seed was planted that I should come to the US. That was my clear goal. And so I came here, again as a student, and did another master's. So a lot of time studying, got into some small institutions like JP Morgan, Bank of New York, which is where I spent most of my professional life. Investment banking, wealth management, and asset servicing, those are the areas. Most of it was spent with operations and with technology. So when this topic was popped up to me, like outside of technology, what can you talk about? I had to steal an idea. The idea actually was my wife's. 2 years ago, she worked for the airlines most of her life. But she was always a people person. And we had moved in 2019 to Dallas after having lived most of her life in New York. And she, started to look around in the area we lived in, and she walked into a senior care location. Again, unlike the previous two, this use case is not sexy, it's not exciting, but I hope you will see some value in it. To her, it was like, hey, I walked in, I met with the people, And there are folks just sitting there, right, on their own, either reading a book or flipping through a phone, not even talking to one another. And for her, it was like, how do I do something? Well, it started with a simple, reaching out to the owner there, and the owner saying, hey, there's this particular person who's from Philippines, she doesn't really, mix with anyone. Why don't you start with her? And that's what she did. She just went to her and took a book and started to read to her. And that became a connection right there. Since then, she's got a few more. But like I said, she gets called middle of the night saying, you have to come over because this person doesn't want to talk to anybody else but only to you because she's not trusting others. So there are senior folks, and I'm also doing this, selfish reasons. Very soon I'll be there, that I will need something like that. Somebody who could come and attend. And it could be as simple, I'll take you for a drive in the car. I'll take you to this doctor's appointment. So a lot of time could be spent in doctors' offices and hospitals, sometimes, unfortunately, even in funerals. But there is a lot of opportunity. She's taken it up, and she's on her own building a business. And to me, I could see in the areas, again in Dallas, there are senior care centers popping up. But also to what Anbu had touched on, there are people living in homes who need company, who just need an assistance, who just need you to go and run a shopping trip for them, or even cook a meal for them. But think about it. Like I said, it needs, obviously, you need to identify a geography. You need to then look at what type of, there are some certifications that you need to do. Nothing difficult. But I think it's about having that people orientation and focus. I've been very fortunate, just to finish and close this out. 20 years ago, I was handpicked, 24 years ago to be precise. I was in New York, happy man, running with my workload, and we had just finished, for those of you who can recall, the Y2K testing, which was the famous one in 99. And, my boss and I, we were chatting one day, and he said, hey, the business guys are very unhappy. And I said, why? Well, we can't find people. We can't find talent. So that's when. And I know Pradeep is in the room, Mr. Pradeep Govindaswamy. There he is. And one of my IIM batchmates at that time was the head of India, Cognizant. He happened to, again, timing-wise, come to New York, and I was just chatting with him. He said, hey, you want talent? Let's go to India. Cognizant was the one that launched us in 2000, and I was the lucky guy, the first one to be, uprooted from New York and sent there. But all I'm saying this is, I've always been people-oriented. End of the day, you can talk about technology, you can talk about AI now, which is, driving everybody crazy. But point is, if you don't have the people focus, it's not going to be successful. And in that, senior care is one that I'm also moving towards with my wife sometime soon. Thank you for your attention. Hopefully it was useful. Do we open up any questions?